In the headlines of this hour on VTV News, Prime Minister calls on businesses to participate in major national projects. Later on, atomic energy law to be revised to meet development requirements. And in our world news, countries prepared to cope with U.S. tariffs.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is currently 8 a.m. local time, and you're tuning in to 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Lilin Lei with the latest updates. Now, Party General Secretary Theo, who serves as Secretary of the Central Military Commission, inspected Missile Brigade 490 under the Artillery Corps on Monday morning in Haizeong. He praised the brigade's combat readiness, determination to secure victory, and dedication to serving the nation and its people. The party chief urged the brigade to maximize opportunities to strengthen its combat capabilities, ensuring that Missile Brigade 490 maintains its position as a core firepower force of the Army and the nation's primary ground-based military unit. Prime Minister Phie chaired a government standing committee conference with businesses on Monday to discuss tasks and solutions for the private sector to accelerate key projects. The conference was designed to help hasten sustainable national development in the new era.
At the conference, representatives of leading nationwide private enterprises expressed their commitment to innovation and engagement in major national challenges. At the same time, businesses highlighted obstacles and challenges in their operations, proposing solutions and government support to accelerate growth and fulfill their mission in the nation's new era.
We will focus on participating in urban railway projects, in line with the Prime Minister's directives today and during his working visit to Theo. We are committed to reducing costs, ensuring the involvement of Vietnamese enterprises, and taking full responsibility for quality.
We plan to build the largest R&D and innovation center, even bigger than Samsung's. The land was purchased 3 years ago, but the procedures remain incomplete, causing significant delays and wastefulness. We hope to expedite the administrative process to accelerate project implementation.
In his closing remarks, Prime Minister Phie extended the best regards and congratulations from Party General Secretary Theo and party and state leaders to the business community. Currently, the private sector contributes nearly 45% of the national GDP, over 40% of total social investment, and provides jobs for 85% of the workforce. Looking ahead, the Prime Minister urged businesses to achieve at least double-digit growth and actively participate in major national projects. Notably, the Prime Minister outlined 8 key expectations for enterprises and entrepreneurs.
I urge businesses to take the lead in innovation and digital transformation. Businesses should accelerate growth, achieve breakthroughs, and ensure inclusive, comprehensive, and sustainable national development. I also call for stronger efforts in developing the digital economy, green economy, circular economy, sharing economy, knowledge economy, and creative economy. Businesses should actively contribute to social welfare. Furthermore, I hope to see more large Vietnamese enterprises participating in global value chains, helping to enhance Vietnam's national brand and competitiveness on the international stage.
The Prime Minister urged prompt action on business recommendations based on 5 cornerstones: responsibility, tasks, timelines, accountability, and outcomes. The government will streamline regulations, cut bureaucracy, and develop strategic infrastructure.
Prime Minister Phie, head of the Government Steering Committee for the review of the implementation of Resolution 18, chaired the 11th session of the committee on Monday afternoon to discuss the proposal for restructuring the inspection system to make it streamlined, strong, efficient and effective. The steering committee reviewed the foundations, principles and objectives of restructuring the inspection system, defining functions, impact assessments and implementation steps. A key proposal is a centralized, unified and streamlined system. Prime Minister Phie emphasized that the restructuring of the inspection system must prioritize the interests of the nation and the people, aligning with party and state directives under Resolution 18. On Monday morning, the Party Committee of Vietnam's National Assembly held its first meeting for the 2020 to 2025 term. Attendees included Politburo member and standing member of the party secretariat, Trần Cẩm Tú. The meeting was held following the Politburo's decision to establish the National Assembly Party Committee and appoint National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn as the party committee secretary. Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn emphasized that moving forward, party work must be strengthened towards building a clean, strong and unified party. He also urged members to lead by example and work decisively to achieve tangible results. The National Assembly Party Committee will focus on effectively implementing Party General Secretary Tô Lâm directive to reform legal thinking. In the short term, the committee is tasked with preparing for the 9th extraordinary session of the National Assembly, which will contribute to achieving the country's economic growth target of over 8% this year and double-digit growth in the 2026 to 2031 period, along with addressing key national issues. The Ministry of Science and Technology is developing the draft revised law on atomic energy, seeking public feedback and registration in the legislative program of the 15th National Assembly for 2025. Finalizing the law will provide a legal basis to accelerate the implementation of the Ninh Thuận nuclear power project and ensure the safe and sustainable development of atomic energy in Vietnam.
The draft revised law on atomic energy consists of 14 chapters and 74 articles, an increase of 2 chapters compared to the 2008 law. According to assessments, after 17 years, the 2008 law on atomic energy has not kept pace with the new requirements and guidelines of the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, on safety, security, and inspections. Therefore, revisions are necessary to ensure compliance and relevance.
The most significant shortcoming of the 2008 Atomic Energy Law is the coordination between agencies and ministries. This issue will be addressed under the new revision. The second major improvement is the addition of regulations on inspection and safety monitoring of nuclear power plants and emergency response in case of incidents at nuclear power plants.
Some provisions of the 2008 Atomic Energy Law have been deemed impractical and unable to keep pace with the rapid advancements in nuclear science. Licensing procedures and project implementation regulations must also be revised.
It must clearly define key permits for site approval, design, construction, trial operation, and official operation. These permits guide investors and enable regulatory agencies to assess and issue approvals for project implementation.
This law also ensures compliance with Vietnam's international commitments, particularly on nuclear safety in power plant projects.
The Ministry of Science and Technology has proposed 4 policy groups to promote nuclear energy development, socialization, and decentralization in state management. These policies aim to support the Ninh Thuận nuclear power project while ensuring safety, security, and the peaceful use of nuclear energy in Vietnam.
Rail exports between Vietnam and China have surged this year. Since the start of the year, Guangxi province has shipped over 3,000 containers to Vietnam, marking a 760% increase compared to the same period last year. The volume of goods transported has also increased significantly, with fiberboard shipments rising tenfold and LCD screens growing more than 2.5 times compared to last year. Leading up to date, the demand for goods surged, prompting daily additional shipments. Additionally, authorities from both sides are working closely to speed up deliveries and improve the efficiency of rail freight between the two countries. These trains, originating from Guangxi, also connect 25 Chinese provinces, facilitating trade with ASEAN countries like Vietnam, Laos, and Thailand, thereby boosting trade efficiency between China and ASEAN. This year, Ho Chi Minh City businesses are seeing a surge in new orders, creating significant workforce demand. As orders increase, companies across the city are accelerating their hiring efforts immediately following date.
This seasoning production company employs 2,600 workers. This year, in addition to their regular orders, they've received a wave of new product orders. To meet this increased demand, they're bringing on 1,000 more workers for food processing operations.
We're actively building our workforce to drive company growth and ensure we have enough skilled workers to expand our product line.
Meanwhile, this Japanese manufacturer of industrial and household sewing machines has already hired 200 new workers for their assembly line.
Last year, we assembled 1,500 household sewing machines per month. This year, we need to assemble 6,000 per month, 4 times that number. That means we urgently need more hands on deck.
The Ho Chi Minh City Center for Forecasting Manpower Needs and Labor Market Information reports that the city will need about 330,000 workers in 2025. To break it down into quarters, the city needs 84,000 in quarter 1, 82,000 in quarter 2, 80,500 in quarter 3, and 83,500 in quarter 4.
We're seeing an impressive uptick in business growth early this year. It's a great sign for Ho Chi Minh City's labor market and economic development.
In 2024, Ho Chi Minh City's exports reached $46 billion. The city aims to grow exports by 10% in 2025, targeting a record-breaking $50 billion. The surge in early-year hiring is fueling optimism that the city will achieve these targets and drive its economy to new heights.
Most of Vietnam's agricultural products are affected to some extent by current global market fluctuations. Therefore, the Mekong Delta agricultural hubs are establishing tightly linked raw material zones with stable market access to proactively meet new market demands.
A 2-hectare pomelo orchard stands out in the rice-growing region. This is not just a crop transition, but also a shift in mindset and farming practices. Each pomelo is wrapped, adding a cost of 1,200 VND per fruit. However, this ensures no chemical residues or pests, meets importer requirements, and guarantees product traceability.
The wrapping process begins when the pomelo fruit reaches about 4 months of growth and is nearly mature. After wrapping, it takes approximately 2.5 months before the fruit is ready for harvest.
Farmers strictly follow approved input lists and keep detailed farming records. For added safety, if a pesticide requires a 20-day withdrawal period, they extend it to over 30 days.
The business-farmer partnership is also evolving. Processing plants are now built within or near farming zones, allowing farmers to deliver produce faster. Meanwhile, factories can quickly dispatch technical teams to farms for guidance and support on cultivation practices.
Building a strong partnership ensures that farmers understand business operations while businesses gain insight into farmers' production methods.
For linked farming areas, the best approach is long-term contracts to ensure sustainable partnerships with businesses.
Despite rapid export growth, the Vietnam Fruit and Vegetable Association notes that fruit production, especially in the Mekong Delta, remains fragmented and small-scale, with weak value chain linkages. To address this, production should be scaled up, following Viet Gap, Global Gap, and other technical advancements to improve quality and reduce costs. Additionally, support policies are needed to develop processing, packaging, storage, and deep processing facilities.
Coming up next on VTV News. The Ministry of Health ensures adequate flu medication supply. later on, circular agricultural tourism attracts visitors. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now on to other important updates. The Ministry of Health's Drug Administration of Vietnam has issued official dispatch number 414, calling for measures to ensure a sufficient supply of flu medication. Provincial and municipal health departments are instructed to closely monitor flu outbreaks and medication demand, intensify inspections and oversee drug distribution and usage to prevent stockpiling and price manipulation. Hospitals under the ministry's management must proactively plan their stockpiles and procurement of flu treatment drugs, particularly antivirals, ensuring readiness and timely supply. Rational drug use is also emphasized to prevent the overuse of antivirals and minimize the risk of drug resistance. Meanwhile, pharmaceutical manufacturers and importers must ramp up production and supply, develop distribution plans, and promptly fulfill orders from healthcare facilities. The Drug Administration of Vietnam urges all relevant agencies to implement these directives immediately. Vietnam and Australia have a long legacy of cooperation in education and human resource development. Since 1974, nearly 100,000 Vietnamese graduates of Australian education have contributed to Vietnam's inclusive socio-economic development, both as individuals and through professional networks. Recognizing their significant contributions and achievements, the Australian government will launch special awards for outstanding alums in various fields next year. Supported by the Australian Embassy in Vietnam and the Vietnam-Australia Friendship Association, the Alumni Awards recognize outstanding alumni in several key fields: building knowledge and connecting people, science, technology, innovation, and digital transformation, women in leadership, enhancing economic engagement, and climate, environment, and energy. The awards will also honor a distinguished alumni who have made significant contributions to enhancing bilateral relations between Australia and Vietnam.
The Australian Alumni Awards honour individual contributions by alumni to Vietnam's development and highlight their leadership in areas of their expertise. Through these awards, we celebrate the cooperation between Australia and Vietnam in various areas and the people-to-people links that underpin the Vietnam-Australia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. There are 6 alumni award categories, and I encourage Australian alumni to nominate themselves or their fellow alumni for these awards.
This will be the second time the Australian Alumni Awards are presented by the Australian Embassy following the inaugural awards launched in 2023. Winners will receive up to 1,500 Australian dollars for professional development support. The awards are open to any individual who has studied, researched, or trained with an Australian institution, whether in Australia, Vietnam, a third country, or online. Nominations close at the midnight of Sunday, April the 6th, 2025. 163 buildings in Vietnam received green certification in 2024, double the number from the previous year. This key finding comes from a World Bank report released last week. Vietnam now has 559 certified green buildings with a combined floor area of 13.6 million square meters. Though Vietnam started later than other regional countries in green building development, experts note its rapid progress in recent years. These green projects aligned with Vietnam's commitment to reduce CO2 emissions by 74.3 million tons by 2030, supporting its goal of achieving net zero emissions by 2050. A ceremony is scheduled to be held at the Thăng Imperial Citadel on February the 14th to mark the recognition of Hanoi's two craft villages, Bát Tràng Pottery Village in Gia Lâm District and Vạn Phúc Silk Weaving Village in Hà Đông District, as members of the World Crafts Cities Network. According to the Hanoi Municipal Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, Bát Tràng Pottery Village and Vạn Phúc Silk Weaving Village were officially recognized as members of the World Crafts Cities Network in late 2024. They are the first two traditional craft villages in Vietnam to be approved as global network members. Agricultural tourism in Ho Chi Minh City spans a variety of experiences, from vegetable farming to exploring craft villages and enjoying natural ecological sites. Notably, a distinctive circular agricultural tourism trip focused on sustainability and minimizing waste has also emerged in the city's heart, drawing many tourists' attention.
In this closed-loop model, garbage emissions and waste are nearly zero, with organic waste recycled for other uses. Visitors are also amazed by the thatched houses with earthen walls.
I learned two key points. Organic farming improves farmers' lives, and circular cooperatives help preserve agricultural land and support sustainable development.
The 1-hectare circular farm is divided into 3 sections: livestock, crops, and aquaculture. Its key feature is a closed production system where waste and byproducts from one process are repurposed as inputs for another, powered by scientific and biotechnological innovations.
We use a 3-level farming model with pigeons on top, goats in the middle, and chickens on the bottom. Manure is treated with biotechnology to prevent odor, then composted for 3 weeks to fertilize the farm and fruit trees.
The farm welcomes around 100 visitors each week. This business model is viewed as the key to resource efficiency, environmental protection, climate change adaptation, and sustainable development while balancing economic and ecological benefits.
Coming up next in our world news, countries prepare to cope with U.S. tariffs. And later on, South Korea publishes preliminary assessment of DeepSeek. Now moving on to our world news, the governments of South Korea and Australia are finding ways to respond to U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to impose a 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports into the U.S. The South Korean Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy held an emergency meeting on Monday to assess the potential impact on its businesses and discuss possible responses. South Korea currently accounts for about 13% of steel imports into the U.S. Meanwhile, the Australian government said it is providing evidence and arguments to the Trump administration to be exempted from tariffs on steel and aluminum imports into the U.S. market. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese plans to discuss the issue directly with President Donald Trump.
I thank the member for his question, and the Australian people know this government has.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un stressed the need to further enhance the combat readiness of the country's armed forces to address any security threats proactively. Delivering a speech at the Ministry of National Defense celebrating the 77th anniversary of the founding of the Korean People's Army, he reaffirmed the country's unwavering policy of developing its nuclear arms. The North Korean leader stated that North Korea does not seek unnecessary tensions in the region. However, it will take sustained countermeasures to ensure the regional military balance and prevent the outbreak of a new war, ensuring peace and security on the peninsula. The National Intelligence Service of South Korea has released a preliminary assessment of China's artificial intelligence application DeepSeek. The report stated that the AI tool stores all user input data and shares it with advertisers without clear restrictions on data storage duration, raising concerns about user privacy. DeepSeek also provided different answers to sensitive questions depending on the search language. The agency has notified all South Korean government agencies, urging security precautions when using DeepSeek. It also mentioned that it will thoroughly evaluate DeepSeek's technology and plans to provide the public with the assessment results if necessary. In response, the Chinese government stated that the restrictions on DeepSeek were unfair and called for international cooperation in artificial intelligence rather than imposing bans. The 15th edition of Aero India, Asia's largest aerospace and defense exhibition, was inaugurated at the Yelahanka Air Force Station, Bengaluru. The 5-day event, themed The Runway to a Billion Opportunities, showcases India's aerial prowess, indigenous innovations, and global aerospace advancements.
India is committed to boosting manufacturing and exports of defense equipment in the coming years, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said at the opening of the country's biggest air show. India's domestic defense manufacturing value will reach more than 1.25 trillion rupees, $14.24 billion in the fiscal year ending in March, while its defense exports will cross a record 210 billion rupees for the first time over the same period. New Delhi aims to explore possible joint production of defense equipment and to scout for billions of dollars worth of military deals at the biennial Aero India Aerospace Exhibition.
This platform provides us with a stage to enhance relations based on mutual respect, mutual interest, and mutual benefit. Together, we should try to deal with today's uncertainties and challenges emerging in today's perspectives.
Organized in a total area of over 42,000 square meters, and with the confirmed participation of over 900 exhibitors, including 150 foreign companies, the event is set to be the biggest ever Aero India till date. The companies are participating in the event that runs through Friday, while defense ministers or representatives from about 30 countries were expected to arrive, according to India's defense ministry. 2 Russian and U.S. 5th-generation advanced stealth fighter jets will also be displayed at the event, the Russian Su-57 and Lockheed Martin's LMTN F-35 Lightning II.
Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast for Vietnam and other locations in the world. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download a mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.